Now the floor is to Sedigheh Adalati, PhD, who is the Federation of Democratic Movement of Azerbaijan.
Thank you very much. Honorable members of the Italian Parliament and Senate, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Federal Democratic Movement of Azerbaijan and as a member of Congress of Nationalities for Federal Iran, I wish to express my appreciations to Mr. Marco Perduca, to UNPO, and especially to Maggie Murphy, which gives us an opportunity to highlight and discuss the obstacles preventing the transition of the Iranian society to a democratic system. In my speech, I will point out the main reasons behind these obstacles and our strategies to overcome them. The most obvious reason for the lack of democracy in Iran is the rule of an authoritarian religious dictatorship in the country. For more than 30 years, the country has been governed by so-called theocratic leaders. In Iran, the state is said to be governed by divine guidance or by officials who are regarded as divinely guided. Theocracy is the backbone of the ruling system in Iran. Therefore, the state not only prevents any attempts toward progress and innovation, but also it forbids the freedom of thought, expression, opinion, and above all is against everything democracy depends on. The Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Iran mandates that the official religion of Iran is Islam, with clear preference given to the Shia. By this means, it has annihilated the solidarity of Iranians. It rejects the equal civil rights of the Iranians clearly and classifies them as first and second-class citizens. This constitution denies non-Farsi nationalities, Sunni Muslims, women, and religious minorities. The second major indication for the lack of democracy is the absence of the non-Persian Iranians from political landscape of the country. For instance, Iranian Turks, the largest nation in Iran, are not involved in the political power of the country. The Islamic Republic of Iran has continued to practice the Pahlavi tradition of assimilating the non-Farsi nationalities that by the beginning of the 20th century, through a long-lasting political plan, had forbidden the using of their language and the practice of their cultural tradition. The oppressive Islamic regime not only continued, but strengthened the assimilation policies of the Shah. The intention was to curtail and weaken the development of the non-Farsi nationalities and marginalize their role in Iranian society. Denying non-Farsi nationalities the right to use their mother tongue in education has not only guaranteed the monopolization of power, knowledge, and domination by the ruling authorities, it has also caused the restriction of the ability of critical and analytical thinking, discussing, questioning, and interrogation. Paulo Freire, an acclaimed Brazilian educator, has called this procedure the violation of the structure of thinking. The economic development of non-Farsi regions in Iran have also been negatively influenced by this policy. For example, the rate of investment in Kerman province has been about 300 times more than in southern Azerbaijan. Before the Islamic Revolution in 1979, southern Azerbaijan was the second highest industrially developed province in the country. A few years later, it dropped to 17th place. Azerbaijan is the founder of the modern education system and schooling in the country, the second university in Iran, as well as The first newspaper was also initially originated in that province. However, at the moment, the rate of the illiteracy has dropped to 20th place. Another crucial obstacle that prevents any democratic change in Iran is the repression of the women's rights in the country. Since the establishment of the Islamic Republic, there exists a sexual apartheid in Iran. The Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Iran considers the women as the second-class citizens. Additionally, after the establishment of Islamic Republic in January 1979, some restrictions, such as the enforcement of compulsory hijab and the exclusion of women from employment of certain occupations, for example, working as judges, were imposed on them. And now, what are our strategies to overcome these obstacles? In our opinion, to change the Iranian regime to a laic and democratic system, it is crucial that the women movement, nationalities, the labor movement, and the freedom movement cooperate together. We are opposed to the military invasion of external forces and believe that these kinds of foreign interventions only strengthen the power of the ruling authorities in using them as excuses for suppressing the opposition. The security and military regime would use them to consolidate its reign and further destroy the critical opponents. We agree with the sanctions adopted by the UN Security Council and the newly suggested ones by European foreign ministers. We believe that the sanctions could be an effective tool to put severe pressure on the Islamic Republic. However, the sanctions should be directed directly against the Iranian government and should not harm the innocent public. In our opinion, one of the main reasons of the longevity of the dictatorship in Iran has been the focus of all political power in Tehran. Therefore, we support a decentralization of the system, where power and influence would be divided among the provinces. We believe that a federal system would restrict and eventually undermine Tehran's monopoly on power. We suggest the ethnic federalism for Iran. The Federal Republic of Iran ought to be established by the voluntary unity of Iranian nationalities and ethnic groups. It ought to be based on a democratic and national federal system and with two houses of parliament. This ethnic federalism would be totally appropriate to Iranian national and linguistic reality. We believe that only that constitution is able to unite the people living in the political geography of Iran that guarantees laicism, equal rights for all citizens, and accepts the multinationality of Iran and the language of all the nationalities that live in this country, and replaces the present political structure with ethnic federalism. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sedigheh Adalati.